Ah, good. I was hoping you'd show up. Lyris was right. This camp is crawling with the Ice Reach Coven. And they're definitely producing the medallions here. I was even able to slip away with one. We need to get closer, though. There's more to figuring out this magic than just watching from afar. I need to know exactly how they go about creating them. With your help, we can learn everything about that here in this camp. It's a landing site for the boats coming from the island of Ice Reach. Plus, they're collecting something here that goes into the process of creating the medallions. If you can get me to the center of the camp, I can learn what that is. Determining how they create these medallions will be an enormous help. The Grey Host has accelerated their plans. They need more medallions for a reason. A big harrow storm is coming. We need to be ready. Because the Grey Host is guarding something down there. I couldn't get close, but it appeared that they built the camp to surround something. Plus, I heard a few of the witches talking. Complaining, really, about needing to prepare more medallions. In the First Era, an army of vampires and werewolves tried to conquer the land before they were stopped in Bankarai. They called themselves the Grey Host. It seems this Rada al-Saran has resurrected the army, both figuratively and literally. Examine the headstones. Let's determine what's so special about the exhumed bodies. Why are these particular graves so important?
I love the smell of dead Nords.
I feel the ritual's power deep within me each time.
The medallions will protect us.
Medallions! More of them!
Finished? Have you come to any conclusions? Well, we've both been over the headstones with a fine-toothed comb. If we can determine why the Coven dug up these particular bodies, It will tell us something about how the medallions were enchanted. Of course. Compare notes and look for commonalities. You have the makings of a fine scholar, my friend. Now, let's see. I noticed there were a mix of different races buried here. They weren't all Nords. Anything strike you about the departed? They did. Tell me more.
Soon, all our efforts will be rewarded.
We are so very close.
Well, we've both been... Of course. Compare notes and look for common... Really? What was that? No, that's not right. Every headstone displayed a different name. There must be some. Of course. Compare notes and look for commonalities. You have... They did. Tell me more. Of course. Why didn't I see that? The headstones on the exhumed graves all mentioned that the person was old when they died. Let me think. Some necrotic spells require the remains of the elderly. Something to do with the natural decay of life. According to one necromantic theory, the older a living thing becomes, the more necrotic energy it naturally acquires. As a body grows old and withers, the life inside it decays. Necrotic energy is the byproduct of this deterioration. I now know enough about how they create the medallions to move my research along. I'll return to the Blue Palace and start putting an elixir together. To fully craft an elixir to defend against the Hera storms, I still require a sample of refined netherroot brew. Plus, we need to determine what the Grey Host has planned. Help Lyris and Savannah at the other camps. Then meet me at the Blue Palace.
Just arrived. Don't worry. I found something to keep me occupied. Bold move setting up camp in the midst of the Western Holds. I'll say this for the Grey Host. They aren't afraid to draw attention to themselves. I learned a few things while I was waiting for you to show up. It's just as we thought. The Grey Host is using this camp as a supply depot for their raids across the countryside. I saw stacks of witch pikes, rows of reliquaries, and jars of what I assume is the refined netherroot brew. Right. And I heard the camp leader, a nasty creature named Sableye, tell his troops to make sure to use the new supply that just arrived from Blackreach. Let's go grab a jar or two. No jars in this cart. Let's try another one.
She drug them off in chains to who knows where.
Let's be quick. They loaded the... Not this cart either. I hope we didn't miss it.
Taking everything I have.
Someone has to
grab
keep
one
the
of those
supply lines
between my teeth.
Don't see vibes. Yeah.
Shake them to pieces. Werewolves, not watching.
this brew to the witches.
Sableye has the brew. Let's find him before he gets away.
Does with spies. We eat them.
Got a jar of the refined brew? Let's talk over here. Luck was with us. If we had reached this camp even a few moments later, Sableye would have gotten away with the Netherroot brew. After all this trouble, Fen better be able to use it to make his elixir. I'll take the jar of refined Netherroot brew to Solitude. We'll meet up in Svanna's chambers when everyone gets back from their missions. I hope they're all right. Fen has proven himself, especially after what happened in Blackreach. House Ravenwatch, they're unusual as far as bloodsuckers go. As for Svanna, she's braver than I originally thought. Anyway, meet me in Solitude after you finish up. In addition to the refined Netherroot brew, Fen needs information on the Icereach Coven medallions. Plus, we're hoping to learn more about the big storm the Grey Host has planned. Help Fen and Svanna at the other camps, then meet me in Solitude. Glad to hear that worked out. With any luck, Fen will produce a working elixir in short order. Then we can stop worrying about the Harrow storms and concentrate on defeating the Grey Host. Which reminds me, go to the Blackreach camp and aid Svanna.
Free! God damn it! Run! Damn these Harrow storms and what they do to my people! I came here to learn what the Grey Host has planned, and what did I find? Good citizens of the Holds, afflicted by the Harrow storms and kept prisoner for some ungodly purpose! No matter how many I set free, the Herald will not leave this place. That's all I've been doing, and trying to get these afflicted people to leave this place. The Herald, the storm robs them of their will, their minds. I wasn't able to slip deeper into the camp, though. Agreed. There appear to be a number of Grey Host warlords in the camp, so discovering their plans should be possible. We need to be careful, though. I don't want us to wind up like the Herald, serving as food for these bastards. Messages have been coming and going since I arrived. I've heard the name Rada al-Saran, the Ashen Lord, spoken in hushed and revered tones. His name was on the communique you found, remember? We need to get down there and see what else we can learn. Hiding, building their forces, digging, undermining. That's the correct term, I think. Plus, they're collecting the Herald, herding them like cattle. It's monstrous what they're doing to these poor people. The only thing I'm sure of is I have to try. If my father won't act, then it falls on me to get things done. It's what my mother would want me to do. Look, on the scaffold. Let's eavesdrop on those werewolves.
I left the orders in my tent, but the Ashen Lord was clear. We need more netherroot. See to the undergrove immediately.
As you command, Pintock.
The undergrove? That sounds important. There, on the left. Let's listen in.
Exarch Zingalis has fallen. I have never seen Rada El Saran, our Ashen Lord, so filled with sorrow, or such rage.
Does the loss of the Exarch alter our plans?
Not in the least. The strike on Solitude will occur as planned after Exarch Ulfra tests the improved ritual in the Undergrove.
An attack on Solitude? We need to move quickly. The Grey Host definitely has something big planned. Let's search the tents for a copy of those orders. That's what we were looking for. Let's talk over there. Orders from Rada al-Saran. His words sent a chill down my spine. Their plan for Solitude? It might even be more dreadful than an all-out attack. We need to get back and determine the exact location of this Undergrove place. You saw what happened at Kilcreath and Carthwatch. Whatever they have planned for Solitude, it sounds a whole lot worse. I wish we knew more about this Rada al-Saran and what drives him. A family of monsters? Who could imagine vampires and werewolves working together? Let alone talking about one another like brothers and sisters. It's not natural. I'm glad I got to look around Blackreach, but I can't wait to see the sun and sky again. No matter how big these caverns are, it still feels like we're buried alive down here. We came down here to find out what the Grey Host has planned. But Fen still needs information about how the medallions are created, and a sample of the refined netherroot brew. Help Fen and Lyris at the other camps. Then meet me in Solitude. Then we're done here. I hope we found enough to end the threat of the Grey Host. I'll meet you back at the Blue Palace. Good luck, my friend.
So, do we have a way to defend against the Harrow Storms, or what?
The elixir should do what we need, provided neither Fen nor I made any miscalculations.
Yolen, don't be so negative. The elixir will work. You'll see.
So much talk of brews and potions. A lot of nonsense, I say. Nothing keeps the Constitution strong and healthy better than a good dose of orcish ale. And by dose, I mean a very large and well-aged barrel.
I'm not sure I completely follow what Fen and the clever woman are talking about, but it sounds like they may have made a breakthrough. What about Svanna? She took a big risk going to Blackreach with you. That's not the point. I never should have agreed to let her put herself in that kind of danger. She's the daughter of a High King. Besides, without Svanna to help us, Svargrim could send us back to Eastmarch. Or worse. Sure as bones, you're as bad as she is. Let's just get back to the business at hand. Talk to Fen and see if you understand what he and the clever woman are going on and on about.
It's all kind of dwarven to me. But I think Fen and the clever woman have figured out the elixir. Talk to Fen. See if I understand them correctly. And tell him the sooner the elixir is ready, the better. We gathered the information Fen needs to make an elixir. If it works as he hopes, it will protect my people from the Harrow Storms. Talk to Fen. Let's find out what else he requires to finish his work.
Fenorian has an amazing mind. His thoughts and theories wind up in the most interesting places. Go ahead. Talk to him and see for yourself. An amazing mind.
Oh, good. You're back. Mjolnir and I have been discussing the various ways to turn what we've got into a protective elixir. I'm hesitant to get too excited, but I think we've figured out how to defend against the Harrow Storms. The Grey Host uses an unstable mix of alchemy and sorcery to create the Harrow Storms. An arcane ritual and the netherroot brew focus the power of each Harrow Storm through the prepared witch pikes. Ingenious, but fully exploitable. We can use the refined brew as the basis of our elixir. Now that we understand how the Harrow Storms are created, we can use those same components to replicate the medallion's protective properties. We just need to gather the necessary components. Svanna's associate, Mog, will procure most of the supplies I need, but there's one final ingredient required. For various reasons, I can't simply walk into the Hall of the Dead and claim it myself. I need you to acquire Arkay's sacred oil. A holy ointment associated with a god that became popular due to imperial influence. It's used by the priests in the Hall of the Dead to provide protection against necromancy and the undead. We need that oil to create our elixir.
You'll need my help. I'll meet you at the Hall of the Dead. Mog, put away the tankard and get the supplies Fen requires.
Yes, your royal ladiness. But I'm keeping the tankard.
To the Hall of the Dead with you. Hurry along! Ingert still serves as High Priest, I believe. We're much the same, he and I. Yet he gets the fancy temple. And I get a hut in the woods.
Go ahead. Get what Fen needs from the Hall of the Dead. I'll make sure Mog follows through on procuring the rest of the supplies. He can be easily distracted in case you haven't noticed.
Svanna's giving orders. Thinks she's a proper princess now, she does. Well, I am an expert at procuring all sorts of procurements. I'll get what the Pale Elf needs. After I finish this drink. For medicinal purposes, you understand.
Knowing the orders my father has been issuing of late, you might need my help to acquire Arkay's sacred oil. I'll meet you at the Hall of the Dead.